The headlines came in, and honestly, nobody quite believed them. It was like, I don't know, hearing that a plucky little hatchback had just lapped a Formula One car. On one side of the ring, you have the F-35 Lightning II, the most expensive, the most complicated, the most talked about weapon system in the history of mankind. It's $1 trillion baby. America's great hope for air dominance for the next 50 years, a flying computer so advanced, they say it can see everything, do everything, and win any fight before the other bloke even knows he's in one. It is, in short, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, or so we thought. And on the other side, a plucky Swede, the Saab Gripen. It was David, armed with a very clever slingshot, but David wasn't supposed to actually win, but then the unthinkable happened. And it is, without a doubt, the greatest upset in modern military aviation. Let's get one thing straight. The F-35 Lightning II is an astonishing piece of kit. It's not so much a fighter jet as it is a flying supercomputer that happens to have wings and an engine. Conceived in the 1990s as the Joint Strike Fighter, it was meant to be the one plane to rule them all. It was designed with one word in mind: dominance. It's designed to be a ghost, slipping through enemy air defenses completely unseen. It comes from a country with a very different problem. Sweden has a long, difficult-to-defend border and a comparatively small budget. They needed a fighter that could be refueled and rearmed by a handful of conscripts on a stretch of motorway in the middle of a frozen forest in under 10 minutes. The Gripen is the answer to that problem. It is the epitome of pragmatic, efficient, and frankly brilliant Swedish design. The Gripen's philosophy isn't about being invisible, it's about being smart. The Gripen is a nimble martial artist who knows 1,000 ways to break your arm, and it costs a fraction of the price to train. It's a philosophy that proved devastatingly effective against the F-35's expensive bag of tricks. The setting was the Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada. The event, Red Flag. This isn't just a training exercise, it's the World Cup of aerial combat. For years, the F-35 has been the star of the show, often achieving ridiculous kill ratios of 15-1 or even 20-1. But in the 2024 exercises, something was different. A squadron of Swedish Gripens was in town, were ready. When the simulated war began, the F-35S went in expecting the usual turkey shoot. Except this time the enemy fought back in a way they had never seen before. It was a complete and utter shock to the system. The Gripens, using their advanced electronic warfare suites, were managing to burn through the F-35's stealth. They were getting blips on their screens where there should have been nothing. And then the ultimate humiliation. The nimble Gripens were closing the distance, getting into a visual range dogfight, a knife fight in a phone box, where the F-35's stealth advantage counts for absolutely nothing. The Gripens had achieved multiple simulated kills against the F-35S. The invincible American champion had been bloodied, its nose broken by the plucky Swedish underdog. So how on God's green earth did a Saab manage to get the drop on a Lockheed Martin F-35? The answer is simple, and it's complicated. The simple part is this: everyone, and I mean everyone, bought into the hype. They all believed the F-35 was a silver bullet. The F-35 is stealthy, yes, but it's not a magic invisibility cloak. It's optimized against high-frequency fire control radars used to guide missiles. It's less effective against lower-frequency search radars, like seeing a blurry shape in the fog. You can't shoot it, but you know you're not alone. The only problem, the Swedes hadn't read the script. Lacking budget for stealth fighters, they spent decades learning how to kill them. They network multiple radars together, looking at the sky from different angles and different frequencies. A computer takes these tiny whispers and triangulates them into a solid track. Suddenly the ghost isn't a ghost anymore. The American approach assumed technological advantage was absolute. They were playing chess, believing their queen was invisible. The Swedes were playing a different game, laying traps all over the board, waiting for that invisible queen to stumble into one. And stumble it did. Let's pop the bonnet on these two machines. The F-35 is, without question, a technological titan. The shape of the aircraft, the materials it's made from, even the paint are all designed to absorb and deflect radar waves. Then there's the sensor fusion. Radar, infrared cameras, electronic signal detectors wrapped around it, giving the pilot a 360-degree God's eye view of the world. The problem is this tech makes the F-35 eye-wateringly expensive. Each one costs well over $100 million. The cost to fly it per hour is astronomical, something like $40,000. It's a thoroughbred racehorse, astonishingly fast and powerful. Delicate, temperamental, ruinously expensive to keep. The Gripen E is a completely different beast. Its toolkit is built around efficiency and intelligence, not brute force and invisibility. Its standout feature is its electronic warfare system. Powerful jammers designed to blind enemy radars, designed to confuse enemy radars. It can create phantom targets, making the enemy see a whole squadron of Gripens where there's only one. It's a master of illusion and misdirection. It also has one of the best data links in the business, allowing a small group of Gripens to share data seamlessly, acting as one. And then there's the cost. Oh, the glorious cost. It's the reliable family saloon. It will start every morning, won't cost you a fortune to run, and is surprisingly nimble when needed. So, what was the secret sauce? How did the Gripen pilots turn their sensible hatchback into a giant slayer? It wasn't one single thing. It was a symphony of clever tactics, superior training, and exploiting the F-35's known weaknesses. They knew they couldn't out-stealth the F-35, so they refused to fight the F-35's fight. Instead, they made the F-35 fight their fight. It was a masterclass in asymmetric warfare, played out at 40,000 feet. First, they used their numbers and their low operating costs to their advantage. They used tactics called swarming, sending up multiple flights from different directions. Every time an F-35 turned on its radar to look for a target, it was like lighting a flare in a dark room. The real genius, however, was in their use of electronic warfare. As the F-35S approached, the Gripens unleashed a barrage of electronic noise. They created ghost